36.
Thank you. frequency accelerated beingness,
and
and
forgotten
forgotten
available
available
blessings,
blessings, accelerated beingness,
and
and
forgotten
forgotten
available
available
blessings,
blessings,
forgotten
forgotten
available
available
blessings.
blessings.
So I want
So
to
I want to
welcome you, make sure
make
I'm
sure I'm
live
live
everywhere.
everywhere.
And so
And
for
so for
those of
those of
you who
you
are
who are
on
on
YouTube and
YouTube and
Facebook,
Facebook,
welcome
welcome
to
to
Wake the
Wake
F
the
Up,
F Up,
Wake the
Wake the
F
F
Up.
Up.
Hey,
Hey,
Miss
Miss
Carolyn, nice
Carolyn,
to
nice
see
to see
you
you
in the
in the
room
room
today.
today.
And
And
I
I
am
am
so
so
happy,
happy,
thankful, and
thankful, and
grateful
grateful
that
that
we
we
are
are
available
available
for
for
this,
this,
available for
available for
this.
this.
So
So
we
we
are
are
live,
live, we are live,
and this
and this
recording is
recording
going to
is
be
going to be
several
several
places. So
places.
let
So
me
let me
just go
just
ahead
go
and
ahead and
jump
jump
right
right
in.
in.
And
And
forgotten
forgotten
available
available
blessings, what
blessings,
is
what
that
is
all
that all
about?
about?
I
I
titled this
titled this
today,
today
Is
is
Happening
happening
Now.
now.
Is
Is
happening
happening
now.
now.
There are
There are
things that
things
are
that are
coming up
coming
in
up
your
in your
life
life
that
that
are
are
challenges. We
challenges. We
call
call
them
them
catalysts.
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 They
They
move
move
you
you
from where
from
you
where you
are to
are to
where
where
you
you
need to
need to
be for
be
the
for the
next
next
part
part
of the
of the
journey,
journey,
right?
right?
So on
So
the
on the
road,
road,
there
there
are
are
hills and
hills and
valleys and
valleys and
dales,
dales,
right?
right?
There
There
are
are
mountains and
mountains and
hills.
hills.
There are
There are
waterways
waterways
that
that
so
so
all of the
all of the
terrain,
terrain, all of the terrain,
and
and
all
all
of
of
these
these
um,
um,
road
road
or
or
terrain
terrain.
differences give you more experience in your life, more experience in your life. We are at a time where it is accelerated. It is accelerated. And for all of us, the very things that we must confront in terms of our karma, the things that, the what goes around comes around, the you reap what you sow, the the next level up. Oh, excuse me, we call it spiraling up. We call it spiraling up. And as we do that, it is necessary to be in a place of peace, calm, poised power. Peace, calm, poised power. So we talked about this. We talked about this when we were um, in our elite wellness. In elite wellness, we talked about peace, poise, calm, power, right? Calm, peace, poise, and power, and how it is that you maintain that as you are going through, as whatever is happening and is happening now, and your whole life is happening now. And that's what the realization of oneness is. We don't have the luxury to compartmentalize how our life is. It's all one thing. Just like we are all one thing in terms of being universal spirits, right? Having a human flesh experience. So, Wake the F Up, it really is about the frequency accelerated beingness. That's what it's really about. As it relates to these things that I'm going to share with you that are happening right now, that are necessary for us to embrace, accept, okay, to have an understanding that the change that is occurring on the planet, we get to believe in it. Whether we feel like it's happening or not, it very much so is. And somewhere along the line, we get to surrender to it. We get to surrender to it. All right. So let me just share with you. There are three things that are happening. It's more than that, but I'm going to touch on three things that are happening. One is the knowledge that the harvest is happening now. The harvest is now. And by keeping that in the forefront of your mind in everything that you do, you say, and you think, It will modify your behavior to be dealing with your personal self. How are you responding? Are you acting out of old programming? Are you willing to develop yourself into the next highest iteration of who it is that you are? Because that is what is necessary. That is what is absolutely necessary. So first, the harvest is now. And if you don't understand what I mean by harvest, that means because we are in an ascension event, right? Wake the F Up Ascension Event 2025, because we are at the beginning of this ascension event, and many people are going to experience moving into their light body as we continue to move closer and closer to the sun. And those who do not will begin to disintegrate. That's real. Now, how do you differentiate what side of the fence it is that you are going to be on? Well, it's really easy, and there's no gray area. It's really easy. It's service to others or service to self. Are you living your life in such a way that whatever it is that you're doing and bringing value to the world is in service to others? In service to others. Now, I must add this part in. Self-care is service to others, because you can't serve nobody if you all broke down yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself. So the first thing that has to happen in realizing that in order for you to have the vim and the vigor, to have the vitality, to be in health and strength, you must care for yourself. Necessary. And from that place, we are in service to others. That is the place where we activate our light bodies. And it has very deep, I'm going to use the word spiritual, right? I'm not talking about religious. I'm talking about spiritual depth of being. Frequency accelerated beingness. Wake the F up. FAB. Frequency accelerated beingness. Okay, this has to do with you activating your light body. The other part where people will be disintegrated, and that will look in many ways. That'll look like people going through all kinds of things, all right, that are service to others. Service, rather than service to others, it's service to self. People who are manipulative, greedy, the liars, the people who are dealing with the historical materialism, right? That's gimme, gimme, gimme. I gotta have, get, more, okay? For self as opposed to for others. Now, in this service to others paradigm, you get to have everything that is abundant for you to be in service to others. It doesn't mean because you're in service to others, you in lack for yourself. No, that's not even a match. So the frequency, the vibration of being in service to others automatically is reciprocal, because whatever it is, whatever energy you put out to be in service to others, and whatever your calling is, your purpose is, whatever that looks like, 60% of the energy that you exert to be in service to others stays with you, and 40% goes to the other person. Okay, that is the ratio of how the vibration works, because you are always the first partaker. no matter what is going on. No matter what vibration, what energy you pushing out, and you are targeting it to someone else, 60% of that stays with you, whether it is positive or destructive. So be clear about this, any resistance that you have about being in service to others, all right? Because service to self means that you ain't thinking about nobody else. You don't care about nobody else. You're not trying to be family with nobody else. You just want everything for yourself, okay? And that's going nowhere because nobody wants to be around that kind of energy, okay? It's like a succubus, right? It just wants to take all of the energy for itself. That's called vamping, right? Like a vampire, yeah. Just wants everything for themselves. So as it is that we are in this place called harvest, the scripture in the Bible, and there are many scriptures on the planet, the scripture in the Bible talks about it, how some will be taken and some will be left, right? Gather the wheat into the storehouse and burn the chaff, right? So some will come into the light and others will be burned by the fire. So you get to decide, we get to decide, I get to decide, you get to decide, what side of the equation you're going to be on. So that's the first thing, that harvest is now. Harvest is now. Number two is, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to talk to you about this second piece, which is, so I'm on my monitor now. I'm going to take you into the Wake the F Up community that is slow to build because you can't hardly hear this conversation. And I realize that. My marketing people always talk to me, people don't know what you're talking about, right? You high speak, but those of you who are seeing this, those of you who are being here on the replay, it's going to get to who it's supposed to be for. One of the things that I know in my 66 years on this planet is that I have always been ahead of the curve. I have always been ahead of the wave. So this space is not unfamiliar to me. Okay. I've always been before my time. So I get it. No worries. All right. So here's what you get to understand. That as the founder and CEO, Chief Enlightenment Oracle for Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, for the Shifa Oneness Foundation Trust, okay, that it is my responsibility to, number one, protect the trust, and number two, to provide value service for all that
Recording
we do
in progress.
as Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. Okay. So back to the slide, the second part is that we are cosmic beings. We are galactic beings. We are in the oneness with the Almighty, the Absolute, the one infinite creator, however it is that works for you. Okay, the one infinite creator, we are all one with that. So remember, I'm on number two. And in realizing this, we have a timing frequency shift. And that shift is, back to the slide, please. That shift is what we've been talking to you about in terms of this 1320 natural time recalibration. Natural time recalibration. And each one of us gets to embrace it. And there are two places again where it's one side or the other, and it's very clear, and there really is no gray area. Okay, so our proprietary frequency system, this is an upgrade. It realigns with our biorhythms, okay? The very cellular structure that we are made of, and it connects us, okay? And this is a memory retrieval because you already connected, right? We never been separated, right? And say nothing can separate you from the Creator. So this that we are attached to this authentic cosmic calendar. Now, it liberates us. It sets you free. It liberates you from the artificial timing frequency of the 1260. So here are the two components. The 1260 is a 12-month year and a 60-minute hour. That is the 1260 frequency that the world has been enslaved to. It is a man-made calendar system that is completely out of sync with what's happening cosmically, with what's happening galactically, what's happening within our solar system. Okay? There are 13 moons in a solar spin, right? The Earth around the sun. There are 13 moons, not 12. There are 13 moons. So on one side, you have this irregular 12-month calendar, and on the other side, you have a 13-moon calendar, because for those of us who are in the expression of divine feminine, we know that we flow 13 times a year because there are 13 moons. Every 28 days is a new moon. And that is exactly how it's happening in the cosmos. Okay? So you get to be liberated first in your thought, in your mind, as you wrap your head around that, okay? And realize that this 1260 timing frequency is disruptive, right? Is destructive to us as human beings. And if you don't believe that, you can just like pick up the newspaper, turn on the TV, and just see how we are behaving, you know, to one another and how we are destroying the planet. This is this destruction, this disruption of humanity's natural resonance with the cosmos is the cause of all of the disturbances on this planet, because we out of sync with the Creator, period, point blank. Okay, so this isn't just about like changing how you track your days. It's not just about, you know, checking off, okay, that day's gone, that day's no. It's more than that. It's not just about tracking your days. It's a fundamental reset of your entire energy system. It actually synchronizes your cellular intelligence. This vertical relationship that we have with the Creator, this vertical relationship that we are one with the energy, frequency, and vibration that created us. That's what we're talking about here. It synchronizes your entire cellular intelligence back to with the galactic cycles, and it restores our ability to operate harmoniously in flow with the universal intelligence, the intelligent infinity, okay, rather than struggling against us. So that's a mouthful. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. And that is why we are studying this introduction to galactic consciousness. Introduction to galactic consciousness. So what is that about? We are on lesson 17 is what I've chosen. We are almost through. There are 28 lessons, the 28 day introduction to galactic consciousness. The keys to enlightenment. Hey, Brother Willie Craig, how are you? Brother L. It is very important. Yeah, I'm still at it. I'm still on it, right? So as long as there are those who don't know, it's absolutely necessary that I do this. So the path of the synchronic order is holistic. And I like to use the word totalistic. Totalistic. And it is a means, it takes into account the totality, right, of our being. So while practicing new knowledge, that's what we're talking about here, new knowledge, things we get to wrap our mind around, new things we get to accept, new things we get to believe in, new things we get to surrender to, because it is happening, whether it is that we are aware of it, we think we feel it or not. It is absolutely happening, okay? So while practicing new knowledge, we are also working internally to become a better human, to evolve ourselves at all levels, There are, it is known that 8 is the number of harmony. Okay, it is galactic integrity. 8 is the number of harmony. And today I'm asking us to meditate on the 8 aspects of enlightenment as has been put forth by the Dogen, okay, which brought forth Zen Buddhism. Now, it doesn't matter what religion you are. The fact of the matter is that these are universal principles for evolving as a human being. Okay? So one is freedom from greed. Hello, somebody, everybody, all of us. Freedom from greed is number 1. Number 2 is satisfaction with what you have. Satisfaction with what you have. And that means all of your skills, talents, and abilities to do what? To be in service to others, to follow your purpose, to bring value. Okay? Satisfied with what you have. It doesn't mean like if you only have a piece of bread, you're just supposed to be satisfied with that. That's a really deep level, because you know that it's your daily bread, right? Right? We're here for the daily bread. And the importance of being satisfied with what you have is that it brings a sense of peace and contentment. That's what it's really talking about, peace and contentment. Number 3 is enjoying quiet. Enjoying quiet. You have no way of connecting and talking with the one infinite creator if you can't shut up long enough, if you can't turn the TV off long enough, stop listening to the radio, if you can't be in the silence, if you don't get how to be still and know that I am God and enjoy it and not be rushing through it to the next thing you think you have to do, okay, you cannot evolve without the enjoying quiet. I know that I've been around people who, it's the first thing they do when they come in the house is turn on the TV because they have to have some noise in the background, right? Got to always have something else playing in the background as a distraction, okay? So next is diligence and discipline. Number 4, diligence and discipline. With everything that you have going on, how committed to it are you to see it through to its best and highest outcome, whatever that looks like. Best and highest outcome for everyone concerned, for everyone involved. Best and highest outcome with diligence, stick-to-itiveness, perseverance, right? Stay with it until it's done. And the discipline in life is absolutely necessary. It can't be just willy-nilly, just all over the place. I'm just going to do whatever I feel like I want to do when I want to do it. Okay? It's not like that. Life will not reward you in the ways that you are desirous of without a disciplined approach to what it is you are here to do. Okay? And that means that you're not just here to, to be entertained. Right? You're not just here to be entertained. Number five is correct remembrance. Ooh, what does that mean? Correct remembrance. So a few moments ago, I was talking about how this coming together, this wake the F up, is a memory retrieval, is about memory retrieval, okay? Remembering our forgotten available blessings. And the remembrance of the fact that we are one with the Creator, the fact that we are never separated from the Creator, and then understanding in our mind and our way of being that we never act like we are separated, or we can hide, or behave in ways that is not representative of the Creator who gives us all life, breathes us, beats our hearts. Okay? So, correct remembrance. Remember that. Remember that you are one with the infinite Creator, one with infinite intelligence. Remember that. And the way to remember that is connecting yourself to the true, the real, the reality of what's really happening to us, with us, as us in the cosmos. How connected are you? You're not just an earthling. Okay? Whatever that, right? You're not only a planetary being. This planet is moving around the sun with 9 other planets. Okay? And the sun is moving around the galaxy that is called the Milky Way. We are in constant motion. We are in constant motion. And it is the center of gravity in the center of the earth that keeps us. It is gravity that keeps our feet on the ground. But we are actually moving through space. Okay? As we are also in time. In time. So there's space, time, and time, space. Okay? So correct remembrance. And in order to remember that, you get to be quiet and enjoy the stillness. You get to be in a place of peace and satisfaction. And you get to be free from greed. Number 6, the practice of samadhi. Now, what is that? What is samadhi? What is samaya? Samadhi, higher mind, opening up all levels of your consciousness. And there are different levels of samadhi. Samadhi, okay? Growing in consciousness is the best way I can say that. The practice of growing in consciousness. And you do it with deliberate intent, right? That discipline, diligence. Yes. So you apply number 4 to number 6, and that moves you into that practice, Number 7 is the practice of wisdom. And what is that? That is self-reflection on the teachings that you are being given. Self-reflection, not trying to see if other people are doing what you think they should be doing based on what you are studying, based on you moving intellectually into some level of consciousness, because it's not an intellectual pursuit. It's happening on the inside of you. It shifts the very core of your life stream. It shifts you to the very core of your life stream, because you can know a whole lot of stuff and not have the ability to implement any of it, not have the discipline to implement none of it, not have the diligence of self-reflection. That means you got to fix you first, okay, before you start trying to fix other people. Fix you first. That is the practice of wisdom. Because once you fix you first, you begin to have the experiences in your life which bring wisdom. It begins to give you the serenity, because you really do know from experience, not from something you read in the book. You know from experience, and you behave accordingly. You govern yourself according to the wisdom that you now know. And I tell you right now, all of that is shifting. Everything that we thought that we knew is shifting. And there's so much more going on than we've ever been taught. And we've been lied to more than truth has ever been revealed. So it is important for this self-reflection in order to get to the wisdom of actually how to live, Because what we've been taught about how to live is mostly a lie. And number 8, refrain from random discussion. Refrain from random discussion. Everything is not worth the breath that is precious to your life. Just talk all about stuff. And when you are addicted to entertainment, when you are addicted to, like scrolling on your phone, it's just all random nonsense. It's all random discussion. It's the entertainment takes you down that path of random discussion, meaningless. That's what the random discussion is. Don't mean a thing, meaningless. And when you begin to wrap your mind around these 8 keys to enlightenment, it changes your reality. It changes your life in such ways, and is so nuanced. And the synchronicity begins to be so clear. The signs along that terrain that I was talking about. So when you come to the fork in the road, which way to go. And you get the signs and the symbols, because you are now wise, signs and symbols for those who are wise. The world is ruled by signs and symbols, not by rules, right? The world The planet, the consciousness, as you rise, is governed by signs and symbols, not by rules and laws of man. Okay? So when you are clear about that, you can hear because you are enjoying the quiet. You're not having random discussions. You are diligent and disciplined in what it is you are here to do, and you get it done. You're not operating out of greed, right? Historical materialism of what we've all been taught, right? Get a good education so you can get a good job. Why? So you can make some money so you can live. All right? That's how this society operates. But it really don't take any of that when you really understand who it is you are and why you're here on the planet. Because the intelligence is really built in. The intellect, the logic, the reason is already built in. In order to get to that, it requires the stillness. It requires the leaving off the random discussion, right? Refraining. You know, so I'm a curious one. I'm a different one. I don't really talk a lot, right? Like you probably can't believe that right now. But I don't really talk a lot because I don't believe in random discussion. I'm not just going to be talking about anything. I'm just not having that conversation. Okay, not having the conversation. I get to be in sync with the Creator that I know that I am. I get to be in sync with the divine feminine reflection that I showed up as this time. Okay? So, freedom from greed, satisfaction with what you have, enjoying quiet, diligence and discipline, correct remembrance, practice of samadhi, that's elevated consciousness, practice of wisdom, that's self-reflection on the teachings you are being given, this information, the introduction to galactic consciousness, all the things that you hear me talk about. And number 8, refrain from random discussion. Those are the keys to enlightenment. This is lesson 17. Lesson 17. On lesson 18, we actually talk about the 10 planets as we continue to move forward, how we are connected to the galaxy and how we are connected to the sun, and how we each one of us, every one of us has an identifier for what planet that we are connected to that is nothing to do with astrology, right? Astronomy, yes. Astrology, no. Okay? And how it is that we are all of this in totality. So as we are having this conversation about enlightenment, as we are having this conversation, I've talked to you about 2 things. One is harvest. One is the harvest is now. And the second one is the 1320 calendar, 13 moons and 20 solar seals, okay? The new calendar, the timing frequency that actually sets you free, that liberates you from the madness, the enslavement to the Gregorian calendar, okay? What's the third thing as we wrap up? What's the third thing? Well, it's going to be unlikely, right? I'm going to catch you. I'm going to get you right now. You didn't know this was going to be the third thing. And here it is. And you've been hearing about it. You already know about it. And you probably have an opinion about it. And it's all right. It's all right. It's all good. Okay? What is the third thing? The third thing is Bitcoin. Ha ha ha. So, well, what does that have to do with my higher consciousness? What does that have to do with harvest? Well, things are changing on the planet. And one of the things that's changing on the planet, I'm talking about global financial system, is that Bitcoin is the new reserve for the dollar. Bitcoin is now the currency of payment settlements. Bitcoin is now growing at and this is a modest rate of 30% a year. 30% a year. 30% a year. And I remember when I was in insurance and we were doing IULs and they used to get like 10, 12% a year. I'm talking to you about a 30% yield per year. And if you know how to leverage it, you can earn much more than that. And the thing about Bitcoin is that it is yours. There is no bank, there is no third party interloper between you and your money, between you and the sovereignty of your financial life. It is Bitcoin. About 6 years ago, I started down this rabbit hole called Bitcoin when Warren Buffett was calling it rat poison and the banks didn't want to have anything to do with it. And now today, with Bitcoin hovering right around $108,000 per coin, and you don't have to buy a whole coin, you can get in with $5, right? So let me say this, you can get in, yeah, because you can buy $50 worth of Bitcoin and start your way. Less than 3% of the population is up on this. However, all of the bankers, all of the institutions are buying it up like there's no tomorrow. Okay? So I invite you to pay attention. I invite you to pay attention. So we have what we operate as the Bitcoin, can I have my slide, please? We operate a Bitcoin boot camp that I am the host and the facilitator of, okay? And it's necessary that you start to pay attention to it. If you're not, if you're dismissing it and don't understand that the devaluation of your dollar is in direct relationship with them continuing to print more money and be trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt, there's no way economically to pay off the debt without devaluing the dollar. So the money that you thought was 100 pennies in a dollar bill is like 13 pennies in a dollar bill now. Okay? And a Bitcoin that's worth, that is appreciating, that is worth 108, 109, it was 112 at its all-time high, $112,000 per coin, and every coin has 1 million Satoshis in it. That's like a dollar has pennies, Bitcoin has Satoshis, and there's 1 million Satoshis in one Bitcoin. It is so abundant, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So you can begin to acquire Bitcoin because it is the new center of gravity for the financial world. It is. And I'm not just saying it. You can, there are all kind of Bitcoin conferences going on around the world right now. You can go to YouTube and look for Michael Saylor and just listen to what is happening, has happened. The brightest minds on the planet understand that because of the way that technology is moving, that AI, that the technology is not going to be spending dollar bills, y'all. They're going to be spending and moving Bitcoin. Bitcoin. The former president, chairman of PayPal, has now built rails or a settlement system on top of Bitcoin. And all settlements, whether it's you paying with your credit card, you paying for your mortgage, whatever it is going to be, whatever it is absolutely going to be the foundation of the money as we know it. It will be Bitcoin. Will be Bitcoin. So what am I talking about? That harvest is now. That the changing the calendar that you live by, okay, is happening now, and will put you in alignment with the cosmos, with the one infinite creator. And as we are ascending on this planet, the money has changed. It's just that you're not paying attention to it. And because the trick of the dollar has you living in a struggle, and you think that inflation is something that is a rule of law, right? According to man it is, but it's not according to Creator. Everything that the Creator gives us, and this new digital money is I'm saying it out loud. Is the abundance that we've all been looking for and praying for and in need of. Okay? Change your worthless fiat dollars into Bitcoin. Begin adopting it, because that is the future of money on this planet. Countries are backing their dollars with Bitcoin because it is the highest store of value above gold, highest store of value. And it absolutely is the financial center of gravity right now. So it's like if you hold a book and you drop it on the floor, you let go, what happens? It falls to the floor. Why? Because the center of gravity is in the middle of the earth, and it pulls everything down to it. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not, it affects you. Bitcoin is affecting you, and that's why it's necessary for me to talk about it, tell you about it, share it with you right here, right now on Wake the F Up. Wake the F Up 2025 Ascension event. The F is for frequency accelerated beingness. It is for forgotten available blessings. We changed the frequency of the letter F from the mundane, right, F-bomb as they call it, to the real frequency of it as the sixth letter of the words that we speak, of the alphabet that we speak, which means rhythm. Rhythm, grace and flow. Rhythm, grace, and flow. So I've been talking a lot, and I want you to be aware. Just be aware. Be aware and be awake. Be awake. If you are interested in the Wake the F Up community, It is available to you where you can actually get the conversation for yourself. And we're here every Celio, which you would know as a Thursday, but according to the galactic energy, we are on celioplasma, which is the energy pouring into us on this in this time, in this 24-hour period we call celio, is the plasma. So yes, let's go to the slide again. So remember that while the financial markets are crumbling, the only thing that is going to buoy it up is Bitcoin as the reserve for the dollars. The bond market is on the brink of crashing, and Bitcoin is forecasted to be $13 million a coin. A coin. The bond market is cracking, and when it breaks, the Bitcoin could go parabolic. Okay? Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of BlackRock, which is the largest hedge fund in the world. Okay, they have trillions of dollars under management. Jamie Dimon is warning that trillion-dollar treasury moves. The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. And institutions, everybody who is custodying your money, everybody who's custodying your money, the institutions are pivoting. They are in this atmosphere of raging inflation, and Bitcoin is quietly becoming the world's escape hatch. So remember, you heard it here. You heard it here. Go do your research, do your homework, be diligent with it, discipline yourself to buy some Bitcoin every week. Okay? $50 a week. Get some. You are on the beginning of this wave. You're on the beginning of this wave. So, kaboom! Kaboom! Wake the F up. Your forgotten available blessings. So that's what I got for you today. And, there's so much going on. And my life is no different. Got catalyst challenge going on. We all do. It's how we face it. It's how it is that we discipline ourselves and apply the diligence necessary to move to the next level. So, in peace and love and light, in grace and ease and flow, and in the absolute presence of the one infinite creator, my prayer is that you be well in your heart and your mind, and you take care of yourself. I'm the first self-care advocacy, okay? I'm first in line for that. So do that for yourself. For everybody on Facebook, everybody on YouTube, everybody everywhere, I'm Shifa Ali Scott, the She Fabulous One, the CEO, Chief Enlightenment Oracle for this time and space. And Oneness, Wellness, Lifestyles, we say from Hawaii, aloha, aloha. I ended it.
I'm gonna have to go to it.
Okay.